is to be here and have peace, and to educate and provide a little history regarding my RV park, Pecos Sun RV. Its topography, along with how we ended up here in Pecos, Texas. Also, how these new ordinances will adversely affect my family's future. And I'm sure it'll affect these people's family's future, not just my own. A little history. I'm from the state of Washington. And so back in 2007, we traveled across the country, through the middle of the country, all the way to the East Coast, in a little fifth wheel and an older Ford diesel pickup. And we wanted to take a vacation. We had our children raised, our 4 children. They were raised, and so it was time for Mom and me to go see the country, try to see the country. So we went across the country, clear over to Savannah, Georgia, and when we came back, we came along the Gulf of Mexico. And when we did, it was just beautiful. But anyhow, we came along the Gulf of Mexico and came up from there into Pecos area. And so we found Pecos, the land in Pecos that way, because when we stopped here, we noticed large billboards of different Bible scriptures coming into and leaving the town. I mean, now they're faded out. You can't even see the scriptures anymore, from what I've gathered and what I've noticed. But we've seen large billboards with Bible scriptures coming to and fro in Pecos, and that really impressed us, the large billboard signs, and very clearly displayed what the majority of Pecos people believed. You just don't see that in the country. We traveled the whole country. We didn't see that. So we were really impressed with that. So while we were in Pecos, we found land for sale. And so after much thought and discussion, we bought the land to possibly go on vacation when able, to enjoy all the sunshine that Pecos has to offer, the nice people, and the very slow pace that Pecos had at that time. Also thinking of living in Pecos someday. So we bought the land. And some time passed, and workers were contacting us periodically wanting to rent our lots to put their RVs. Is it?
Your 3 minutes is up.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
Oh, my goodness. Really? You don't want to hear what I have to say?
No, you're limited to 3 minutes.
Oh, wow.
I'm sorry. Because we've got other agenda items.
Wow, that's true. Yes. Well, maybe I can just file it with the council. I'll write this out and I'll file it with you so you can read it later. Because I was at least halfway through. So, okay, thank you so much.
Is there any other public comments?
Hey, Mayor, Council, make it real quick to the point. Changing gears a little bit. I hope you can hear me. Jeffrey Martinez, I come here as an alternate on the hot board. Good morning, Councilwoman. Trujillo, just real quick. First and foremost, I've never thanked you for selecting me to be on the hot board. Thank you for that. I'm going to try my best to serve in its entirety. I'm doing a good job right now. Okay, in doing so, I believe our Heart Tax Board can do more. While having a history of tabled items, I've seen it over and over and over. Councilman Saldana mentioned it in the last meeting, and it's true. Why are we even there? I'm here to tell you that I'm motivated. I'm ready to move on anything. I want everything just to, what we're supposed to do, bring tourism. Some things, if possible, if these things can be done or written, I don't know, I'm not educated enough on the hot board, but I am learning as I go. Scheduling hot board meetings faster when the request goes through. They seem to take a while. Pressing us to get table items taken care of sooner in a more suitable time frame. Press on the board to bring new ideas for tourism. When searching for new nominees, can we start about 6 or 7 months prior? Instead of just, the way I found out was a Facebook post. That was it. Also, kind of sensitive topic, to discuss having regular joint meetings with the director of the chamber, CVB, radio committee, and the hot board to discuss tour events in the future. see where we're at for each other, we can make our traditional local events even on a bigger scale, probably make some more revenue. Maybe at a new event center, which would be a great idea. That's all I got for now, council, so thank you.
I just wanted to make a real quick mention that the council did not let me present my defense. It's a peaceful defense. It's not an adverse defense, but I just want that on the record for Gregory Demers, Pecos Sun RV, that I wasn't allowed proper time to make a defense. Thank you very much. To present my defense.
Are there any other public comments? We will go on to our consent agenda. Approve the minutes of the November 21st, 2024 regular city council meeting. Review the expenditure report and review the PEDC overall 2024 financial report.
Mr. Lino, there was several entries for dinner. Is for the water meter exchanges.
It's actually what we're trying to do is build an inventory, and we've been having a hard time. We've been having a very long timeline delay on meters, so we're ordering meters on a regular basis until we get our inventory to that level, and then so we're trying to get our inventory so that we can service our customers without having to say we'll have a meter in 2 weeks and it's taking a month. So it's trying to build our inventory right now. That's why we're coming in, and I think Kevin has a schedule on a weekly basis right now, and it's for probably 2.5 months, and then they'll start inventory. And then we should have adequate inventory.
So about how many more of these will we see?
8 to 10 probably, because we're servicing and changing, and with us taking over Madera Valley, we're having to change out all of those meters.
It has to do with Madera Valley.
Yes, ma'am.
Gotcha.
A big piece of
Okay.
it, yes, ma'am.
What was the software, strategic something survey? It's on page 11. Red Pepper software.
Is there any way you can speak up? We can't
Yes.
hear you. We can't hear nothing.
I can't either.
Okay, that is for Qualtrics, which is the survey program that Edward had in the budget that we reached out for, that we can use so that we can do surveys to the community and get feedback and get all of that done. That's what that's related to.
And then my last question had to do with the disposal of tires. Or two, maybe J&G trash.
Well, and there will be a few more of those. We're working, we had a TCEQ notification because of our mountain of tires. The county probably is going to have the same thing, but this is to become in compliance and properly destroy the tires that are accumulated.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Any more? Can I make a motion we approve consent agenda as presented?
Second.
Have a motion from Councilman Arona, a second from Councilman Graham to approve the consent agenda. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Let the record show the motion carries. We go to our non-consent agenda. Item F1, presentation of a check to the Pecos Area Cancer Foundation for the funds raised at the Town of Pecos City's third annual 5K Pink Run. I think you're going to walk up there so we can get a picture. Through the 5K Pink Run, we raised $5,300. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, if I could have all council kind of step up here and take a picture with Miss Tracy.
Instead of moving our chairs.
Should you do the picture?
That's okay.
You
No, I'm
You're
okay.
the one that started this.
Alrighty, in 3, 2, 1. Perfect. I'm good. Thank you guys.
Well, thank you so I'd just like to say thank you to Edward for spearheading that pink run
Yeah.
that raises the funds for Pecos.
We will go to item F2, presentation of the community cleanup trophy to the 2024 Fall Community Cleanup Winners, the Reeves County ESD number 2.
Good job, guys.
I think they had a call.
You guys want to kind of come around again? One more time?
Coming around?
Alrighty, we'll get one with the mayor real quick. Alrighty, in 3, 2, 1. Congratulations, guys.
You guys, thank you.
Do you want, we could speed through it, or do you want to push us in the back? We're flexible.
wait?
Yeah, we can wait.
We're going to go ahead and go to item F4, discuss, consider resolution 24-12-01R, a resolution amending the master fee schedule in regard to RV permits fees. Cindy?
Mayor and Council, Sidney Fuentes, Director of Permits. Mayor and Council, per your request, staff has received an updated RV park fees per site size and volume. The resolution in your packet identifies the recommended fees after speaking to the staff. And the staffs already are in the process of verifying all the existing RV parks and the uses. And we're looking to updating with you guys to give you a full count of everything that's existing, that's in compliance and out of compliance within the city limits and our ETJ.
So how many conforming parks we have?
Yes, we have already our code enforcement out there. I'm pretty sure off the top of my head, we have 6 that are conforming, which are the big RV parks that have all the amenities.
Okay, I have a number of questions.
Okay?
On the wording on this, it says temporary non-conforming use permits, annual renewal, and temporary non-conforming use permit. Anyway, what do you consider temporary and what's permanent?
So we don't have any, idea, we've talked to Vanetta, remember you've asked what our temporary time frame is, and we needed to start working for a temporary, what is temporary, what's considered temporary. All of the RV parks that we currently have are temporary, and the reason we're saying that is because they're not in an allowed use area. So RVs, first of all, are not allowed in any of our, they're allowed through temporary non-conforming use in the C2 and in the industrial zone. We had a moratorium years back with the previous city managers where we did a zoning moratorium where we allowed them temporarily in C1. That's when the boom came and RVs were popping up in residential areas. So we ended up doing the temporary non-conforming, and we temporarily allowed them in C1. But currently, we don't allow them in C1 unless they're grandfathered, and if they stop the use with 6 months or more, then they go away.
Okay, so I was just wondering, did you use a percentage that you raised the fees, or did it just?
So we've had the same fee since 2014 for the RV parks. We have had no raising on it. And just based on the usage, if we have to go out for leaks, we have to have inspections, it just makes it to where we've got RV park licenses that got like 320 RVs and only pay $100 renewal fee. So all that, if there's any leaks out there, it's more time consuming, especially for our staff. And then charging the $100 fee, it's to cover additional costs that we do.
So I guess kind of going off her question about the temporary, and then further down it says existing without amenities. Does that price change because they are still non-conforming after the year?
So the way we put it on there is if you have the amenities, your 1 acre, the requirement for RV parks is 1 acre and you've got all the amenities, which is the laundry room, the his and hers restroom, the showers, the manager's office, and there's one more thing. Laundry room. So if it has all the amenities, we're moving it up from $100, the renewal fee, to $2,500, because those are all the RV parks that have over 100. And when we're saying that without amenities, that means that people came in and got RV parks, but they don't have any of the amenities. All they have is actual different spacing of RV parks. So what we're saying is if you get in compliance with having all the amenities, we're giving you 1 year to do it, and then for that first year, you pay $5,000. Once you have your amenities, then it'll drop back down to the $2,500 that everybody else pays for the RV parks.
And that's if you have 100.
That's for anything that's out of, so right now, the way the temporary non-conforming use is 4 per lot.
How much?
4.
4 lots.
And if you have bigger than 1 lot,
Four units
four
per lot.
RVs, 4 RV units per lot. That's how the ordinance was written. And you can have up to 9 if you've got more than 1 lot. Those are all the ones that are regular temporary non-conforming. And the RV parks, those have an RV park license, which is the bigger RV parks that have all the amenities for it.
If somebody has 1 lot,
They're required to have just 4,
just 4, and that, just 1 lot and 4, so they pay 2,500.
500.
$500.
They're paying 200 right now.
So when does the 2,500 kick in?
When you have the amenities, the 1 acre and the amenities more than 10.
There's more than 10.
Anything more than 10.
Qualifies as an RV park. Anything under requires a temporary non-conforming use because technically they're not allowed in those areas. Whereas an RV park has already been established in an area and they are allowed where they're at. That's not going to go away, but it's 10 or more units qualify as an RV park. The differentiation that we have in what is in your package right now differentiates between somebody that has the amenities, which qualifies them as a full-fledged RV park, versus the ones that have spots but no amenities, which includes an office building, restrooms, laundry, and I think that's it.
The laundry room,
Can I
office
comment on
managers.
that?
Office.
An office, yeah.
So if you
It
got-
has to have an office on that.
So if
You
you got
need
15.
to- you need to know.
If you got 15 that qualifies for the 2,500.
Yes, sir.
you have to pay the 25. So if you had 10, it doesn't qualify.
No, 10 will qualify
10.
that way.
But 9, if you had 9,
Under 9 does not. It
Does not
it's
require.
non-conforming.
so it's 500.
Well, it depends. It depends how many you have on a lot. Because right now, the way that the ordinance is written is any single lot, the max you can have on that lot is going to be 4 units.
4
If
units.
you have multiple lots, that's where that secondary piece comes in, where if you have anything from 5 to 9 units in your lots, you can't have more than 4 on 1 lot, but if you have 3 lots, you can have up to 9 units. That would be $1,000 per year. If you get
$1,000 per what?
Per year.
Per year.
Yes, sir. And if you go above that 10, then you qualify as an RV park. And if that's the case, then there's other stipulations that come into play that you have to accommodate and take care of.
Whose rules were these? The 10, above
Mr.
10?
Demers, you can't comment right now. We can't comment to you. We gave you your 3 minutes.
Well, there's some information that the council really needs to be informed of, and really, they really do.
We'll give you an opportunity to speak at another meeting.
Okay.
They've asked you.
Okay.
Okay.
So, they put showers, and this is the way I'm taking it. They put showers, laundry, it goes up to 2,500. That's kind of like a punishment to me. It should be. It goes down.
I think it starts at
At
5,000
5,000.
without.
It starts at 5,000 without
It's
amenities.
the other way around. So if you don't have the amenities, you have a year to get.
Okay, so if they don't have the amenities, but still the trailers have showers, like Mr.
But the way our RV park ordinance is, that's the requirement for the RV park. That's the way our ordinance is written right
We
now.
need to change the language.
Okay. I pulled the ordinance. And it says, an RV park is any lot, tract, or parcel of land upon which accommodation is provided for 2 or more recreational vehicles used as living or sleeping quarters by the day, week, or month, whether it's a charge or not. A recreational vehicle park is a unified development recreation vehicle spaces provided for recreational vehicle use with community facilities and permitted buildings. That is our definition of a recreational vehicle park. It doesn't say anything in that for showers.
It does
but
in the bottom.
But it says community facilities and a permanent building.
And if you go further down on the ordinance, let me get it real quick. I went ahead and I printed it so you guys can all have it. The highlighted area shows what the requirements are. And that's how the ordinance was written and approved prior. Again, all this is recommendations. At the end of the day, whatever you guys want us to do, the direction you want us to take is what we'll do.
Can I have a copy of that, please? Thank you. There's no date on this. Yes, there is. Yes, there is. I'm sorry.
You know, reading this, it's almost like, I used to go camping at Indian Line. They had all these amenities because I had either tents or a pop-up camper that didn't have facilities. All these RVs have toilets. The only thing they don't have probably, and I imagine some do, the bigger ones is washer and dryers. But like my esteemed Mr. Editor, who I won't mention name because I don't appreciate being called a fascist, but nonetheless, being called we have longer facilities and businesses that we could, these people could go and wash their clothing
And again, I'm just enforcing what you guys have already approved.
So the definition of an RV park, is that our definition as a city, or is that kind of the standard statewide?
I don't know that there's a step. I think we follow best practices and stuff. But I'm sure that there are municipalities that have different levels of what qualifies as an RV park. I don't think there's anything in the statutes that mandate
Anywhere.
this is what constitutes an RV park.
Do we have anything related to the trade park, the one that used to be by the airport when it was full?
Yeah, so that one was, it's been there for years, so that, we didn't even make them,
No, I'm just saying what ordinances or what guidelines do we have from back then? To mirror or try to see the difference between that and now.
yeah, I don't know back then if there was anything in place.
You know, neighborhoods, I agree, there shouldn't have any other. You know, you got a house and you got 100 yards behind your house, but it's a neighborhood. There shouldn't be any RVs behind your house. Were they permitted? Yeah, but we're kind of forcing the issue. And I can understand gravel, pavement, or even cement, which there's one on the west end of town that's, I've been told, is grandfathered in, he didn't have to do anything. I'm not very fond of the word grandfather. So, but I understand it's there and it's needed, or it's not needed, but it's there and it's covered. You know, so But to force somebody to put a bathroom, a laundromat, whatever, when the trailers already have those RVs. I just don't see it.
And I agree, I see that needed if it's gonna be like a KOA campground, where you're gonna drive through, you're gonna park for even a day or two. You may not hook up to the sewer line, water line, you may go use, especially if it's overnight, you may go use the shower there, you need a restroom. I can see having that. But if these are RV parks where people are staying months at a time, I don't know why we have to require the laundry, the restrooms, the showers.
Yeah.
I have a question, Cindy. How many of these RV parks are currently in Pecos? Because I mean, I know that's
what
$1 million, right? That's $1 million question, right? There's quite a few.
So the RV parks with amenities that we have right now are about 6 of them that we talked.
So that's 6, okay.
And so they're anywhere from 320 to 340, which is Kings Road. And then you've got Petroplex that has up to 200. Those were all, when they came in initially and all that with, they were required back then to have 3 acres. It was still a big problem. People didn't have by the acres, so they dropped it down to 1 acre. And so that's where we've been sitting at. The 1 acre requires you to have those amenities, to have an RV park, anything over 9.
Can I ask a question? Cindy, I have my RV park and I'm paying 2 permits.
Okay.
One for the RV park and one for the office. Isn't it the office supposed to be a part of the RV park?
You should be just paying for the RV park.
Every year when I renew, I pay 2 permits.
Ma'am,
One for the office.
You had your time for public comment. Sorry. You can talk to her after.
You can come.
And the question I have is, when's the last time that we looked at this?
2015 was the last time we raised or changed anything on the RV park, which was we lowered it back in 2015.
2015. Because from 2015 so today, a lot of changes have happened anyway. But even in like Councilman Orona saying, if the RVs and the ones I've seen, they have everything in it.
Yes.
And so the only problem that I have with this is just like everybody's trying to make money with what they have. But since we haven't touched this since 2015, but let me ask this to you guys. Have you raised your rent for per lot or per unit? I mean, it's none of my business. I'm just saying, if you raise a rent to that, don't you think that the city, because we have to take care of all the sewer lines, the water, everything that we have to take care of. So now, the pricing and what I'm seeing, like Councilman Arona, I kind of question that. But I believe that what we have is we need to really work it to make it work for what we're going to do right now, because it's kind of a shock to pay this, and then all of a sudden here comes this. When I first heard about it 2 weeks ago, when I first heard it, I didn't even know about this ordinance. That's how well I know. I wrote. Now that I'm retired, I can read. But when I'm working, I don't. So I go by Councilwoman Shields that has more experience. So I listen to what they're saying and Councilman Arona. But still, I think this is just like the ordinance about parking in the yards, which I'm all for, because I don't like that. I don't like cars in the yards, and I definitely don't like RVs in the backyard, because where I live, we had an RV. There was somebody a block away that had an RV hooked up to their house, and it burned. And then, so that's illegal. And there's RVs out there right now. And what I'm saying to you guys is, those guys are illegal, and it's making you all look bad. So just like we gave the ordinance for the razors, they police themselves. If not, it's only temporary. When we check it again. If they haven't that, then we'll cancel the ordinance and they'll be outlawed. So this is something that I think we need to look
Work
at it, and just like we did the parking in the yard, I think we need to sit together with everybody and see where we can come into consensus instead of having not an argument, but coming to agreement. Okay, what is legal? Because like Councilman Art said and the mayor, I just don't believe we need, and if we need to change this, then we need to change it.
Correct.
And Cindy, is this just in the city limits, or does it affect anything outside?
And the ETJ, all the way to the
So it's
ETJ.
a mile outside the city limits, okay.
Yes. And that's because of the interlocal agreement that we have with the county.
So we don't come under the county rules? We come under-
So we can't tell them how many they can put or what they can put out in the county, but if it needs any permitting, like for plumbing, electrical, mechanical, if it needs any kind of building, we do inspections with our rules. But we can't tell you like, oh no, a manufactured home can't go in that lot, because we don't have zoning outside. But if they're gonna require permits for inspections and whatnot, it'll follow the rules that we have inside city limits.
Okay, now this is a permit, and so is it just one time only?
So the license is renewed, the way the ordinance is written, it's renewable every year. And the temporary it's the same thing, it's just the way we have it set up in our system. So anything that gets renewed on a yearly basis, contractors' registrations, health permits, stuff to that nature, is considered a license that gets renewed every year. If it's a permit that it's a new residential building, something to that nature, then that falls under a permit. That doesn't need to get renewed.
Because this is permanent.
It's on the ordinance, but our software requires it to be a license. It's considered a license.
I'd like for us to do a study on this, because it is complicated to
Mhm.
understand. And is it fair? I'm not sure.
Okay. I'm open for direction. I mean, I'm basically here to get your direction on what we want to do. If we want to put more numbers together and table it for now, and then for us to bring you more accurate numbers. Right now, like I said, I do have code enforcement out, making sure that we account for all the RVs that are, and another thing, when we did permit this, we did specify to the people that it's a temporary thing. The council may come one day and say, I don't want RVs here anymore, and they'll go away. So like, we do have some in C1, which are not allowed at all right now through retail. But as long as you guys don't redact it, we're not gonna mess with them as long as they stay in compliance and they pull their licenses.
So if we look at it, and if there's some that are illegally, if we're gonna change this, then we need to look at that.
Mhm.
And if they're out of compliance in a deal, then when the license comes, do we inspect, do we go out there and inspect it?
So while our code is out there and about, they'll do random checks, like they're kind of
Okay.
checking everything that's
Yeah, because
out
it's in
there.
On the ordinance, and I don't have time to read this whole page, but is there a distance between RV to RV?
10 feet, fire code is 10 feet.
And if you're not in code, then you have to move.
You either have to get rid of some of them to be in compliance, or get in compliance to where they're 10 feet apart.
And I'm saying this because I want everybody to understand, if we're gonna look at this again, just to make it fair for everybody, and forever, because some of these rules are already there, I mean, long time, but some of these things we can change, the fees and stuff. But if they're not, if they're 3 feet, 4 feet apart, and we go measure and it's not the required 10 feet, then you're illegal.
You're out of compliance.
So you're gonna have to work with us just like we're trying to work with you guys.
And is
Because
that-
this is an ordinance that was already written that now we're trying to upgrade it just like everything else, everything's expensive. And we're trying to get it to the level of where we're at so that it can be fair for the city, but at the same time be fair for you guys.
That's all we want.
And is that
To
10
be
feet?
fair for everybody.
Is that 10 feet with the bump outs out or not? Because that's a big difference. They can be 10 feet apart. You put the bump outs, they're right here.
What do you mean by the bump? I'm sorry.
The slide outs.
Oh.
They're anywhere from 1.5 to 3 feet.
That's
25 and 30 feet.
It's 20.
I would have to say, once you pull it out.
Yeah, you would,
So I
yeah,
think we have to define that too, because,
Yeah.
I mean, 10 feet is 10 feet,
Mhm.
but. if
Some do have the pull-out.
slide-outs Or now meeting, that's not 10 feet.
Yes.
And if that slide out is the part that catches fire, it's gonna catch that one that's.
You're right.
Inches or feet.
that's correct.
It varies
And
from
this is all
RV to
for the-
RV.
And I think what we do
And
is
side to
we
side,
have-
so you never can guess.
I mean, we need to really define all of this, so everybody is on the same page about everything.
I think we need to have a town hall meeting like we did with parking in the yard.
Okay,
So with all
Would
these
you all
people
agree to
here.
that? So that we can kind of talk without time frame and all that, come together and if, like Councilwoman Seal said, if you have one of those that pops out and there's your 10 feet that's run away, so that way we can make whatever adjustments have to be made by you guys and by us.
See, they come and go.
I guess another question I have is, when the past couple meetings it's come out, it was per space, not per park. So, I mean, in the, what I'm reading here, it's about per park. So am I?
so we had updated the ordinance to where it was moved to per spot. And that's why this caused this meeting, so we could adjust the fee to make it the 500, instead of per spot, per RV, to make it per lot.
For the information that we were getting from the public as well as the
We
council.
wouldn't have two separate charges, just
No,
one.
sir, it's one, it's a single one, yes, sir. This meeting and what Cindy's bringing before you today is in response to the meeting that we had last month, where it was, and when we first amended the master fee schedule and they went through everything that was changing, it was changed to where it was gonna be X number of dollars per unit. Council came back, we heard a lot of feedback from the community, therefore we brought this back to you with a fee per park, because we thought that's the information that we were looking at from the council and the community, to bring it back into line, because we didn't disagree when we had the public comment come in and say, you know what, I have 20 units, or are you asking me to pay $20,000 a year to have that? We listened. That's not what we came back with. But the numbers that are in this are at the discretion of the council. These are strictly recommendations. Cindy has had staff going out and try to actually quantify the number of RV parks we have as well as the number of units that are in each one. That's an ongoing process. The one thing that I will ask is the difficulty that we run into, and this is where I have to ask, a little bit of patience with the council as well as with all of the RV park owners, is that these fees, typically, they expire December 31st, okay? With everything that's going on right now, I think that we probably have to have a conversation and say, you know what, we're not going to give you a bill, or we don't need you to pay on December 31st. If and when this is done in the month of January after town hall, we come back and say, okay, now you owe us X number of dollars, this is what was collectively decided on, and then we start the 12-month period. It doesn't mean that we're going to start billing you every February or March of the next year. It means that it'll still expire on December 31st. It's just that, so that no one is in non-compliance for the next 45 to 60 days, that it's an understanding that there is a fee that's coming, we just don't know what it is yet.
Until we all sit down and talk about it.
It's a moving target, all industry slumps, you're gonna have a lot of empty RV parks. They wanna keep their license, what are they gonna pay? So that needs to be addressed.
Correct. Yes, because any usage that's stopped for 6 months or longer, it voids it.
And I don't think there's any way logistically that the city can keep up with going out to every single park, whether it's on a weekly or a monthly basis. and,
Yeah.
Oh, how many spots do you have rented, how many spots do you
Correct.
not? So I don't see any way that that could possibly be kept up with.
No, and that's one of the reasons why we modified it per listen to everybody park, because then there's not that level of oversight. And
Usually the way we find out
that level of oversight.
if there's more or they're not, they come and tell us, well, I don't have anything there yet, anymore. So that's how we're, obviously, like you said, there is no time to be at all the locations and making sure that they have the 4, that they have the 9, they have the 176. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't have that. The only way we normally find out is when somebody comes and says, do I still need to pay? I haven't had an RV there for 6 months or a year. That's the only time we find out.
Taxing, the appraisal district was taxing them based on revenue, and they switched that, you know, they changed that now. So it's
Per
just-
unit too?
Yeah, it's just based on
Not
Per
per
spot.
unit, not per unit.
per spot.
I think it's just the value of the property, what they're appraised.
You know, if we want to go by revenue, as far as the license goes,
Mhm.
you know, it'd have to be retroactive.
Well, the difficulty that we have is trying to monitor that, and kind of like we've had in other issues, that would require somebody to bring in a set of financial statements each time. There's some of these people that don't want to share that financial information, and they shouldn't be required to. And the only way to quantify that would be to bring in financial information. And
Everybody's charging a different price, so, I mean, you can't just say, oh, you've got 4 spots on this lot, so this is what it's valued at, or anything else,
well,
because.
and I think it would also cause a lot of discord with all of the different RV parks, because you may have a competitive advantage that you're not sharing with everybody else, that's your right to have a competitive advantage.
Maybe you're paying for electrical, maybe you're not paying for
Absolutely.
electrical.
Yeah, absolutely.
I agree with everybody. I think we've dealt, like, since the last time this was updated in 2014, 2015, we all know that there's a housing shortage in Pecos, right? You guys have provided an important amenity to the communities, the families that have moved to Pecos and need a place to stay. You know, it's not just a single worker that comes in. We've seen an increase of families. That's apparent in our groceries. We know that. I mean, they're here, and like somebody mentioned, they are spending their hard-earned dollars in
Yes.
Pecos. So that's really
Yes.
important for us to think of.
The economy.
Right. So it is something that I think it's not like a one-size-fits-all solution. We tried to come up with a plan, and I love to see, like, I couldn't find a parking today, and I'm like, wow, this is awesome. I wish every council meeting was like this, because unless we hear from you guys, we hear from a very select few, and we're elected by the citizens. So I love that there's so many new faces here, and I invite you all to come to every council meeting, because unless we know your opinions and your thoughts, then we can't make the decisions that affect everybody. It deserves more outlook and discussion and research.
Please keep in mind that Pecos is a boom town.
Yes.
And it's coming again, probably. So we are the backbone to Pecos.
And can I request, I'd like to know how Monahan's is doing it.
Okay.
Cruz and maybe Odessa.
Okay.
And if I can, what I'd like to ask is, Griffin doesn't know this, but I just volunteered him. Griffin, raise your hand.
Raise your hand.
If I can get you, he will put together something to where you all we can get your, at least the contact information, maybe an email address, so that we can make sure that we notify you all personally when we do have the town hall meetings. It's going to facilitate that, because if we don't get your contact information, we'll put it out there on our social media page, but if you don't see it, you won't know about it. So if you could accommodate us and let him take your information so that we can get in contact with you whenever we do have that town hall meeting, I would really appreciate that.
Mayor, make a motion, we table this item and that we schedule a town hall meeting with the residents. All those that please register at the city manager's ask, so we can all sit down and discuss this.
I have a motion from Councilman Corona, second from Councilwoman Seals to table this until we can have a town hall meeting. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Let the record show the motion carries.
Thank you.
if I can say something, this is a home rule town. Study the charter. It gives you an avenue to change what we pass as ordinances. I mean, you don't have to wait for us, you don't have to come, you got the power. Our government is based on that. And our charter, the city charter provides that avenue for you guys to change any ordinance, get me out of office if you don't think that I'm doing it right before my term is up. That's the ability y'all have. That's the power y'all have.
And as long as we meet state code.
Thank you, Cindy.
Alrighty, thank you.
Okay.
And thank all of y'all for taking the time to come out.
Please come back, don't just do this one.
So there's no room for more comments?
Okay, we're gonna go on. We're gonna continue our meeting. We're gonna go on to item F3, presentation on the premier of project updates from born in Denver, raised in Pecos, work in Hazel.
Are y'all going to be able to see that screen? I used to think it was going to be back there, but maybe we could angle it over.
Much common sense. Just common sense. As far as I am sitting there as I'm listening. Service.
Hey, John, move your conversation.
Could you check
further
if the
that
arrow
way so
right
we
and
can
left were sun changing
continue the meeting?
I hate it to be
And I have a meeting. For some I can communicate with myself to him something. We try to bring this. Oh, I'm sorry.
We'll go ahead. Mayor, council, Charles, it's so good to be back in Pecos. We just got back from LA, and the way y'all run the government here, and we just want to say, I mean, this place far surpasses Los Angeles, any place in California. It's a blessing to be back, and we're fired up to give you this presentation, and also really respectful for what just happened in the room here just a moment ago. Ariana, can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, so Ariana Broaden for the record. Mayor and council, thank you all for having us. Thank you for the citizens of Pecos for sticking around. Thank you to Charles and Sire and everyone for helping us set up.
Alright, we got quite an update for y'all. It's been since July since we last met. So first of all, we're under budget. We've got a very healthy budget for all things right now. The total marketing spend, the number is $345,000, but in reality, with ad matches and everything else, it's much less than that. We're excited to go into this. So by switching our marketing partner from Booyah, we actually drove to Denver, got out of our contract because one, we got JRAP Media, and we'll go into that. Just an unbelievable new marketing partner on a whole different level. And we got a lot of great things out of Booyah, but we just couldn't afford them. There were hidden fees, costs, and they were making money based off of things that were in Pecos' best interest. It was in their best interest. And so when we figured that out, we put a stop to it, and we were able to get all the data, all the analytics, all the advertising, all the relationships. We were able to still keep all of them and also leave on good terms from Booyah advertising. So I mentioned earlier, it looks like we spend a lot more money than we have, but we haven't. And so if you remember, our marketing contract with Booyah was $375,000. So by switching to JRAP Media and working directly with X has been offering for startups and first-time advertisers 100% match. So we spend $100,000 on the X platform, and we'll go into all this in the next slides. They give you $100,000 back. So it was a deal you cannot refuse. And we told Charles, we ran to his office, Charles, when we first heard about this, and we really couldn't believe this was an opportunity. So right now on the X platform, we have over $112,000 of unspent ad credits that we're about to aggressively use in the coming. And so our actual spend on X, I know it says $137,000, it's really $25,000. So that's how big of a difference and how much money we were able to save. So going into JRAP Media, so who is Johnny Rapp? We have an international team now. Anyways, we have an international marketing team now. So we've got people in Asia, we've got people in Dubai, all under the same umbrella of JRAP Media. And so a little bit about him. He first got his start in LA with Skydance Entertainment. So he ran all their marketing, big time movies. And then he actually ran Jennifer Lopez's Twitter account. So he's very high up in the entertainment world, and and we'll get into these more slides. Anyways, in-person promo, we've invoiced $19,202, but the majority of that's unspent. We canceled a 2.5-week Los Angeles trip that we'll get into, and so obviously this will go straight into other in-person promotional activities. Tyler, Gwen, through Booyah, through all of the things they offer, being creative artists, just things that were way too expensive. We actually got a really famous artist from Austin, Texas, who's doing all of our graphics. He's agreed to do an exhibit here in Pecos for next year. And he's redoing our movie poster and thumbnails for secondary distributors, and we'll get into all that. Los Angeles Times, they've been running our trailer. They ran it for 3 days. They put us in the Los Angeles Times. We were hoping the newspapers came in. There's FedEx didn't come in on time, but we'll bring it to y'all. It's pretty cool. We have it in the slide too. And then Cut to Black, that's our studio in Austin. Whenever we need to edit some high-level videos, he helps us do that. So we'll get into the fun stuff now. Good news is we're under budget, and we have a healthy budget going in for the next 3 months. And there you go. Okay, so phase one. Last when we met with y'all in July, we were still working with Booyah. We were prepping and testing different ad campaigns. So I remember Mayor Winkles was asking Syra. We meet with Syra a lot, just on a whole bunch of stuff. We just always come visit her. We love her. And everyone was like, I thought we were supposed to launch in August. We were supposed to do these things. However, dealing with all the Booyah and testing ads at a small level, there was no competing with 2 assassination attempts on Donald Trump and $1.4 billion from Kamala Harris. Every advertisement was getting flooded, and it would have just been a waste of money and, of course, these dollars to even start the campaign. So we just recently started this marketing campaign November 26th. So right now, we've already done phase 2, brand awareness and trust. We've already had eyeballs of 75 million people on the trailer in the past 2 weeks since we launched. We've secured affiliates, and any day now, it's either tomorrow or next week, we have a huge news story that's going to break, a huge article for the town of Pecos City. That's just everyone in all of our in-person promotion are really getting excited about what y'all are doing out here and about this movie. So phase 3 is where we're at now. So going into the holidays, going into next week, starting Monday, we meet with X. That large amount of ad credits that we've been saving up after we've done phase 2, we are we are going to release videos on how to buy our tickets, because right now we're in a bull run of these unique tickets. And we have actually a guy out in Dubai who's famous on YouTube for how-to tutorial videos, and got that. We've been getting a lot of Pecos social media content. Robert Redden, we got a good video of him as a cowboy saying some positive things. It just feels so good to be back here, so we'll also be here the holidays, grinding out some more social media content that's all Pecos focused. And then, yeah, like I said, from tomorrow, really starting Monday, ticket sale focused advertising. We've already got the partners, the communities, the brand awareness, the trust. Now it's just time to really start promoting the ads for ticket sales. So in person, phase 4 will come after probably December, probably 1st of next year. It's the in-person promo. We're looking at an event, hopefully with Core Scientific. We've done a lot of the West Coast. We're working on a big party, but we also want to do a huge party here in Pecos when all of this goes to plan. So our ticket sales to donate back to Pecos, that $341,000 that we all agreed upon, we're working every day to get that money back to y'all with the PR story that y'all backed this, and y'all were the first to do this, which we're looking forward to. Phase 5, which we've actually dabbled and started right now, we're in Fox Nation's inbox, we're the lower tier streaming service. We're still reaching for Disney, Netflix, Amazon Max, but I keep going back to what Kurt wrote in that letter that helped us get this funding. He wrote he wanted a billboard that required no maintenance, that would always get eyeballs on Pecos. Our platform doesn't do that. Only around 9,000 people are going to be allowed to see the movie. That's just a means of generating more marketing hype and more funds to pay y'all back and have a bigger budget. So obviously the end goal is to land a platform, which we are now starting the process. So we're of course shooting for the stars with Disney and Netflix. I have a great feeling about Amazon. Max, we're actually going to meet with someone about HBO tomorrow. Fox Nation, so lower, that's plan B, Tubi, other lower streaming, plan B. We're fighting for the best deal possible for y'all. Plan C, if for whatever reason none of those work, which I don't see happening, we've already met with the Colorado Film Commissioner, and PBS is lined up for us for a Pecos special, and then we'd of course do small theatrical screenings for that. But just to let y'all know, the plan that we pitched y'all on, we're still on it. It just got delayed a few months due to the crazy political environment and all that money being spent. And yeah, Ariana, if I miss anything.
No, like I said, we're shooting for the stars, but we have backup plans. Sorry, technology guys.
There you go. Okay, so why X? So Elon Musk, obviously, when he acquired Twitter, he's been offering startups and just first-time advertisers deals you can't refuse. We got a verified organization. We actually got something that we're about to get into that normally costs $500,000 for the NBA, NFL, Disney, Netflix, whoever's doing it. It's called a trend takeover. It's how you get the most eyeballs possible on whatever product you're trying to promote. And so by them giving 100% match back on every dollar we spend on marketing, we essentially doubled our budget. Not to mention there's 200 million users worldwide. Or daily, 200 million users. There's 600 million monthly users worldwide. This platform caters real-time conversations, news, current events, and community building. This is where our independent filmmakers and crypto enthusiasts, and really just the majority of people on their phones, they're on X. And it's been ranked the #1 app for over 140 countries, making it the biggest source for news on Earth. X users are 36% more likely to try to be the first to try new things, being kind of our ticket sales and going into what we're doing. They're 2 times more likely to have made an in-app purchase. So this really helps us as we built our community. We're up to 13,600 followers, but we have way more followers between our affiliates and communities, but that we're about to get into. on this next slide.
There's just a screenshot of our profile. The future of filmmaking rides through West Texas. Cowboys, blockchain, and born in Denver. Join the new Hollywood.
We'll get
If
into.
you click learn more in this one.
Yeah, there's more, and we'll get into this real quick. So what was the trend takeover? What did this look like? So why did we go with hashtag New Hollywood? Johnny Rapp was the marketing person behind this. So right now, obviously, Hollywood is dying. There's it's under intense scrutiny with all these famous actors, actresses. The whole industry is just, there's the Diddy list, there's all these things. So on this platform, you know, we kind of just felt that Pecos was the new Hollywood. We felt like what we're doing here with this new movement, and with something, a broad stroke like that, it would get a lot of attention and a lot more people clicking than just buy a ticket or look at our brand or look at this. And so it would actually, over benchmark, we perform better than some of the biggest film companies. We perform better. Maybe we can scroll down to the next page, because this gets into a funny story that we're about to share with y'all that y'all aren't going to believe, but it happened. So how many impressions did we get on, you can see on the right, born in Denver, raised in Pecos. We got a total of 65, almost 66 million impressions. The trends, get some more numbers. Our companion post got 8.2 million, leads you right to the trailer and all the information about Pecos. But this was on everyone's smart device, you know, all over America for 24 hours.
And just remember this picture for this story.
Yeah, remember that picture, because we're going to tell y'all a funny story coming up here. And it's kind of about the little guy. So obviously, on this companion post that same day, got 2.2 million impressions. All right, so next slide, or yeah. We could just start it on the
And then also just want to say, so the trailer that, if you click the cuneiform, it linked to the trailer, and that got over 2 million like full video views, and then the 8.2 million hits.
And there's a lot of other people in this process that we had post it. So at X Movies, so they only post the blockbusters. This is the official movies account of X, and we've got such a great relationship. They said, what will the next decade of the film industry look like? Hashtag New Hollywood. Obviously, it's Pecos and this trailer. And so this got so many eyeballs and blew up so much. We actually got a cease and desist from Hollywood. The Hollywood Chamber of Commerce, the industry itself attacked us, the little guy, because we were saying Pecos is the new Hollywood. So we couldn't believe it. They were very threatened. They couldn't believe how we're rolling it out, kind of like taking a shot at LA with this hashtag. And so we didn't try to do this. And then a bunch of other independent filmmakers, a ton of more people kind of caught wind of this, and we kind of created a little bit of a movement, unintentionally. And we ended up working with X's attorneys and then Hollywood Chamber of Commerce. We're on great terms with them.
We made up.
We made up,
No
and we
worries.
complied with them. They're a little more powerful, and just we didn't want that smoke, so we complied. We actually said we were going to go out to coffee with them, and we made up with Hollywood. But anyways, that happened on that day. So that was our launch day. So this was only 2 weeks ago. This is the official X Movie. You see Bill Oglesby in the salad room at the West of the Pecos Museum. So this is where it gets interesting, and this goes into what we're going into next week. So these are affiliates. So if you can see right here, that's our brand. And these affiliates, what they do, 680,000 followers, 670,000 followers. They work for us to their community to sell our tickets. So next week, right, when we start doing our sales-focused ads on how to buy a ticket, why you should buy a ticket, it's going back to a great cause. It's the town of Pecos City, obviously the majority of those sales. These are the people that will be pushing it. If we get a fraction of those, we will sell out those tickets. And so they just post like the greatest, typical Hollywood films. So the fact that we've landed these bigger accounts with large online communities is fantastic. A lot of them are just buying into what we're about, what we're doing here in town. And we go to the next slide, because this only gets deeper. I mean, it's taken a lot of time to kind of build this online community, but as well as them too, as actual affiliates, we have collaboration posts. So we meet next week with Filmmakers World. We're not just all in on X. We have done some Facebook and Instagram ads that we're going to get into. They have 1.5 million followers on Instagram. These are film enthusiasts. These are people who, really get behind independent projects. We're meeting with Echo Bins next week. They're a huge studio in LA. We're just really going to learn from them, because the more we play with this new Hollywood idea, and the more we love Pecos so much. I mean, we don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but you can do everything here that you could ever do anywhere else. And we'll get into Los Angeles more in a second, but our film-focused partnerships, all of these accounts will be posting, obviously, to buy the tickets and watch the movie. The ultimate ad for Pecos and for this project is to sit down and watch the entire movie. I mean, y'all were ahead of this, and anyways, but that's a combined follower count of 9.8 million people. Once again, if we just scratch a fraction of that kind of gill net we've casted out there, we should sell out no problem. And so this all will start next week with all these big time accounts posting about us. That big article that we have coming out either tomorrow or next week, we'll share with Cyrus so y'all can read it. But it's all about Pecos, and I think y'all are gonna really enjoy reading it. So the next, and this is exciting. So JRAP Media going from Booyah to this. We got an entire international team. So as we're speaking right now, we have people in Asia, on X, on these social media platforms, promoting the project, responding to people, talking about how great Pecos is. And then these are just 11 accounts that are all individual. They all speak great English, and they all are very up to date on the project. But we have a team that's working 24/7 hours around. When we sleep, we have a team working. When we wake up, we're working with another team. So we have just so many people, spearheading this all over the world. But they're helping us for our account and post to get 7.1 million impressions. This is just less than a month. So we're up 214% there. Engagements up 50%. That's likes, comments, replies, etc. Profile visits, we're up 379%. So, we're collectively reaching right now, and this number will grow, 150 to 200,000 impressions for the crypto space, for the film space, 24/7. And this goes into the new year. This goes in to anything and everything that's about the film, Pecos, and trying to sell these tickets.
And we're just trying to cast a wide network. So we have been really successful getting film partnerships, but these guys live in places where the technology, the Bitcoin, the crypto is really popular, and they're really well versed at speaking about all these things, promoting it, kind of speaking the internet language, even better than Brecken and I. So
ever could, yeah. We're a little behind on some of this, so deep in this, but
we're just really grateful that they're doing so well, and we're proud of them. And they're all PG,
positive, family friendly, exactly. They're great. And then so something else we did that we thought y'all would think would be interesting. So we entered into a competition really late. I mean, you have a chance of winning the longer you're in it. So we got in on the last week. It's been running for months, but you share your project, they give you a grant. It doesn't look like we'll win it just because we were late. There's a lot of people like farming votes or paying for votes and getting a lot of people, but the people that are responding, you got one, what an inspiring and interesting film with an incredible personality. It's a 96% score. Core Scientific, right here in Pecos, one of the, up and coming New York Stock Exchange companies right now. We spy our Pecos, Texas data center. Pecos is a great community to be in. So you can only imagine once this film completely gets out there. And you got some awesome stuff like Born in Denver is stunning, showcasing the raw beauty of Pecos, Texas, while tying the film's overarching themes of transparent collaboration, and just people are responding really well to what we've shared already, and we'll just...
These are very harsh critics.
Very harsh critics, yes. These are film and, technology critics, so we've I think our overall average is like 93% on that score. Let's see. Okay, Los Angeles Times. As you can see in the top right, we had the Los Angeles Times Facebook and Instagram channel. You can see Weldon, and they ran ads we were in the Culver City Film Festival. Our screening was Monday. So they were running ads from December 6th to 9th. We did a social handshake, so they were posting us on their Facebook, on their Instagram, and we got over 161K views. One of my favorite comments is Judge Willie Bean, incredible. And then of course, you know, seeing Weldon and Gene is just always inspires us. So
Their words were, "Step into the future of cinema with Born in Denver, raised in Pecos. Celebrate the untold story of Pecos, Texas, where cowboy grit meets blockchain innovation. Join us for an exclusive screening at Regal LA Live Movie Theater on December 9th. Tickets available at the door, limited seating." So that was it really got us excited. And then this is a post from their paper.
yeah, their online paper and printed newspaper. We got the front page ad next to, and they were also in the entertainment section. They were also offering startup studios insane deals for what we were trying to do. So now is the next thing we get into Los Angeles, or is it? We'll see. Okay. Okay. So where have we been? In-person promotion. So this picture we thought we'd share with y'all. That was us staying in Denver, Colorado. We had kind of mentioned, you know, going in person and getting out of that contract with Booyah, which was such a blessing, and the fact that we were able to get out the hook for $375,000. We stayed on Pecos Street, believe it or not. So we thought we didn't realize it, but you know, it's everywhere we go all the time. We've been to Austin promoting y'all, making videos. Denver, we met with the Colorado Film Commissioner. So the biggest film guy you can meet with in Colorado is fired up about this project. His favorite part about everything, you know, there's a lot of stuff that we're doing, but his favorite part was the story of Pecos and all that y'all did. So he thought that was the most interesting and well done of all of it, which meant a lot. And he's also
Jared Polis is his boss, who's also in the movie, so you guys beat him.
yeah, the
So
governors.
cool.
So, yeah, which was great. So they're all happy out in Colorado. We're planning some stuff for next year that we might look into. Marfa, Texas, we met with Syra about this. So they had a big crypto conference, you know, with art collectors and all these things. And we got videos of it, and we related everything back to Pecos and really promoted y'all hard there, like very hard. And it really got ideas, especially with this famous artist we got. Like, I don't want to jump the gun because we were taking on a lot right now, but we're talking with Syra. I know we could do this in Pecos, later date next year, but anyways, you know, Pecos is a lot cooler than Marfa. We spread the word there at a big crypto conference. Dallas, Texas. So here's a huge thing in the next slide. We went to the North American Blockchain Summit. Some of the biggest politicians, bankers, lobbyists. It's $2,500 a ticket. We bypassed that, got it in for free through press passes. We saved money there. And that's actually where we met our reporter who's writing our big article. She just left the Huffington Post. She now works on the biggest crypto news Cointelegraph organization with the most eyeballs. It's really going to be a big article when it drops. So we were able to do that, meet a ton of Core Scientific was there, big time politicians. Now LA, so obviously, should we just go into it? Okay, so that big film festival screening was on Monday. So we arrived, our car from driving to all of these places, it is beat up. We put miles on it. We got to see the mechanic here, Sam, and get a checkup because we've been out there hustling. But anyways, we drove all the way to Los Angeles. You know, I did 15 hours straight. I basically stayed up, you know, the whole way. As we're driving there, we're seeing just an unnormal amount of smog. The trees were dead. There were no birds. There were no animals. The city was, from Palm Springs up to the beach cities, basically in ruins. And then we checked our phone, and there was a tsunami warning, earthquake, another earthquake the next day. So we felt
3,000 people are out of power.
300,000.
300,000, sorry.
Yeah, and where we were staying, they were starting to close the roads. We just felt completely unsafe. So we went back to Scottsdale, waited it out, and we were like, okay, do we need to go to attend this film festival in person, our own screening in LA in this big, beautiful movie theater? So we called our film festival programmer. We called everyone else that we were going to have meetings in with LA for 2 weeks, and it was going to be expensive out there. But when we arrived, we had a horrible problem with the lodging that, let's just say the host was not in his right mind. let's say, every bad thing that could say, get out of Los Angeles, you're not gonna be able to make the Pecos meeting, you know, especially, we didn't want to do this digitally. We love in person. We feel like that's how we do business best. But out there in LA, they don't care. They really do it online. And so we weren't able to see the screening. We left that Monday, and there was a huge fire in the Topanga, Malibu. It's still on fire. Acres are burning up. People have lost power. So we probably wouldn't have been able to phone in by now. I mean, we would have tried, but and essentially we had to cut our Los Angeles trip early. That we didn't even get to see our screening. But we are in contact with the theater and the programmer to get ticket sale numbers from the theater, and just to see, you know, kind of what happened there without us. And then we also made all of our meetings online that we had there in person, so we can do it right here in Pecos over the holidays. So
and we hate to even think about giving up. We drove for hours thinking like, okay, surely this next city will be better. Surely we'll get some kind of peace. The whole time I felt like we were in imminent danger. We had instructions like from our father to leave, and we couldn't shake it. I've never driven on a road trip 15 plus hours and then begged to do a U-turn. It was really scary.
We checked out all the surrounding areas, Santa Monica, Topanga, Malibu. When I say like graffiti, third world, like I'd rather be in Zimbabwe than Los Angeles right now. I'd rather be in some place that whatever's going on there, their city government failed them, and it's. I just want to say we feel so thankful to be back here with y'all, because it truly is a difference, and this Pecos is 10 times more beautiful than California will ever be. It's just not the same California we grew up going to. So here's some pictures from our in-promotion. So that's Art Blocks. That's the big crypto conference in Marfa where we were able to promote this film and Pecos a lot and get inspired. They had a book there, West of the Pecos. We thought we'd show that in. The blockchain summit that we went in Dallas, that's Mike Pompeo speaking. That's me talking to her about Pecos. The woman who's writing our article is a big-time publisher. So we're looking forward to seeing that come out any day now. I don't know if you want to add anything.
George Bush Library. It was a very cool event. We felt lucky to get to film it.
And that's the theater our movie played at. We were unable to attend, but we were here safe. Which, you know, if it's not us safe, this project is going to struggle. So we had to weigh the pros and cons. And we're not exaggerating. It was rough. So I guess final takeaways. Thank y'all for your time today. It's been a lot over the months, but we are in a bull market. So typically, what happens when Bitcoin goes up, then comes Ethereum, then comes what they call meme coins, then comes NFTs, which what our tickets are. So everything's in cycles. So by delaying, waiting for all that news media about him. I don't know how we feel about him in this room, but between him and Kamala Harris, they were taking every single ad up. So the fact that we've delayed from August to launching only 2 weeks ago is huge. The political environment, obviously the lifeblood of this community is oil and gas. Things are changing on that end. The crypto side of things, the political environment's changing. It's all working in favor and all being just kind of forward thinking on this movie. So the movie's getting better with time and going to give us a better chance to sell it to one of these bigger streaming platforms. Holiday break, we're not taking any days off. This is actually our opportunity and our phases of our marketing campaign to go and sell these tickets. We'll be very aggressive with our ad spends and with all the videos that we've created and all the communities that will be promoting this. So, starting Monday, we're really going to get after it. And that's as well as our team in Asia, Dubai, Bali. They will also be working around the clock to take advantage of people being home on their phones, spending money during the holidays. And typically it's a great time for crypto as well. And then we just want to remind everyone here, I know y'all been through every step of this process, so we probably feel like old news at this point. We've shown y'all rough cuts of the film, to pitching to the everything. to the general public, we've only been live for 2 weeks, so we're brand new. We're really getting a lot of attraction, and it's the plan's working, and we're going to keep following the plan with everything we got. And we're really looking forward to that PR story of bringing a giant check back. Obviously, that comes through ticket sales, and getting this movie ultimately on a platform that's not our own, something that is way easier for every person to watch. So we make every decision based off of those two things, and does this benefit Pecos or not? So that's all we got for y'all today.
Kind of nice to see Pecos' name on something right here in town, so that's awesome.
If there's any questions, but that's been the last couple of months.
Yeah.
I keep having people ask me, like, how can we see it? It's not, they can't find it right now.
No, they can. So just recently, it's on our platform, cuneiform.org. But next week, we'll be releasing the videos of how to buy a ticket, because it is a little complicated. You got to do it through ways it's very innovative, in other words. But there's only 9,000 or so tickets, so we're going to be marketing that. But eventually, we will, if they could watch that video next week, it's ready on our platform. It's,
essentially, they need to have a Coinbase wallet and then have the crypto to buy the ticket. And then once the ticket's in their account, then they can log into Cuneiform and they'll just play.
Rob's been fortunate enough to go through the process and test it all out. He sent us some very kind words on it, but we'll have a tutorial ready next week for people in Pecos. They will want to buy in at this, and obviously we're really advertising hard to the filmmaking community as well as the crypto people that know how to do this.
I don't know how many people in Pecos itself that has crypto. I've got it, and finally my big loss has finally turned into a small loss.
Yeah, it's definitely volatile, and that's our goal, right? We obviously want to just make these ticket sales marketing a vehicle to generate revenue, pay y'all back, but ultimately get this on a platform where you can just click a button, it's on whatever that everyone can download. So this is very short term, and any filmmaker that would be in our position without this, they would just be twiddling their thumbs waiting for these secondary distributors to come back from vacation. So this gives us at least an opportunity to be proactive and do something that hasn't been done before.
Some of this that you talk about is way over my head. I don't mind saying it.
Yeah.
Makes y'all look very forward thinking because it is unique.
It is.
To say the least.
Well, thank you for
Thank you all
this
so much.
presentation.
Happy holidays, and it's so good to be back in town.
A little rest.
Okay, we will go on to item F6, discuss, consider modification to the Hidden Heroes interlocal agreement. Charles Lee. Well, I was asked to put it at the end.
No, we're good. Good evening, Mayor and Council. Charles Lino, City Manager. Update on the Hidden Heroes project. I was going back and forth with some emails today. The hospital is really close. The ESDs are closer than they have been. There's an agreement that is supposed to be distributed to all. I'll get a copy of it as well as the attorneys for the other entities. It's supposed to come out today or tomorrow. They do have meetings next week. The ESD does, I think, the same day that we have our potential meeting next Thursday. So we will know more then. It's been a struggle. It's been frustrating because the entities that need it the most have been the slowest, and we think all of the language that has been requested, which didn't change the agreement a whole lot, has been remedied and rectified. With that being the case, we will be having a meeting next Thursday, because I'll have the modified agreement to present to you all so that you all can see what has been modified and what has been changed, so that we can reaffirm or look at it. I want council to be fully aware of what modifications were made. I've had those conversations via text with Parker, and hopefully he's back available next week. But that's the extent of my update, is hopefully, fingers crossed, next Thursday, we'll have some resolution. Then right after the first of the year, we can maybe award a contract if we don't have to go out for bid again. And I qualify that because it's been 9 months. And the prices that were in there may or may not be the same. So we may have to look at that, but then we can get this moving and get some vertical construction going early next year.
So will we vote on it next Thursday, on the modified contract?
That'll be my goal and my recommendation, yes, sir.
What about y'all, Elizabeth?
Our meeting's on Wednesday.
Wednesday?
Yes.
Okay.
Y'all be- put that on the
Yeah,
agenda?
it's on the.
It's on there already, yeah.
What about the hospital?
I do not know.
Tuesday.
Yeah, I think Tuesday. I know that Brenda and Yvette have been out of town. I don't know if they're back yet or not. But I know that they're well aware, so I'm hoping it's on the agenda for Tuesday.
Yeah, we've messed around with that thing long enough.
We have.
Should have been breaking ground in April.
We have.
Here we are.
And I'm not saying anything negative about attorneys, but it's all the attorney's
You
fault.
want me to say it?
I'm like, what's the
Because
problem?
that, you know, with the agreement that was started, that was it. But then you involve an attorney and they don't like the way we cross our Ts. They want to cross them their way. But-
It is.
But they work for us. We don't work for them.
Yeah.
So we tell them what we want. And this is just what's happened with ours, you know.
Yeah.
We basically gave it to him, 3 days later he returned it. I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
That should have been, but we get attorneys from big towns that don't know nothing about our community, and they come up with their little flashy ideas. Keep their ideas over there and let us run our business. Because I think it's time that we run our community and not that, especially attorneys from another community trying to tell us how to run Pecos.
I don't disagree.
And this is housing that's really needed, you know, it's needed.
Yes, sir. It is.
Can we get a hold of Brenda tomorrow? And if we're still in that window where if they don't have it on the agenda, they can get it on.
I'll text her tomorrow and do that. Yes, sir.
Disappointing.
Agreed.
We're all in a rush.
Right.
Now they're all in the ones that hold it.
Mm-hmm.
Usually how it is though.
Well, at least thank you for the city of Pecos taking the lead and running with it.
Absolutely.
We don't need to make a motion. It says discuss, consider.
Yeah, we're not going to have anything. No, sir. There's no action.
Okay, we'll go on to item F7, discuss, consider authorizing the city manager to seek a location for a new event center. Vanetta Sims.
Okay. Well, I mentioned this before about, I think it could be a very good proposition for the town of Pecos City to consider having, moving forward maybe with a new event center. Locally, we have the Civic Center, and it is basically booked every weekend for the next year. Makes it very hard for someone else to come into the community and have an event, especially on the weekend. You might can get it during the week, but you can't get it on the weekend. And I think this could really benefit the community as a whole, provide extra opportunities for more people to come into town and host events here. I think it's something that the city could get done in a relatively quick manner,
Yes, ma'am.
maybe a year in preparation and then a year to build, and have this possibly up in about a 2-year period. We do need to think seriously about the location of it. and for sure whether we really want to move forward with this. But I think it is a great opportunity right now for our community and for Pecos, the town of Pecos City itself.
Yes, ma'am.
I think we got, like the county's deal on their water park, they've got a pit center on the diagram. And then also Jaco wants to build it. So we're gonna wind up with 3 possibly.
Maybe needed.
Well,
No.
or it may be that we could all work together and build one big one.
Yep.
And then what is everybody else's timeline to get theirs done?
They
Is, I
don't seem
guess,
to
my
be in a
next
rush to
question.
move on projects, in my opinion. So,
I think we need to check with them first.
We work with state.
yeah.
The county and the school.
So when is the next joint entity meeting?
Joint entity is going to be January 22nd? No,
So
January,
9.
7th or 9th?
well, that's going to be the 2x6.
Yeah, okay, 7th.
And then 2 weeks later will be,
January 22nd.
yeah.
So is that something we can put on to discuss at the
100%, absolutely, yes, ma'am.
If there's more
That
than one
would be
entity, considering doing a project such as this.
Absolutely.
And what their ideas are and what their timelines are.
Yes, ma'am. And I will put it on, I'll have it for, as a discussion item on the 2x6 meeting. That'll be 2 weeks earlier than that, too. Yes, ma'am. Absolutely.
Well, Ken today got on Google Maps and he looked at Monahan's new event center and the parking lot and the roads around it, and it's about 15 acres is what he came up with.
We won't outdo them.
So we probably need at least that.
We need 16 acres.
30. And
We want a nice outdoor facade that really grabs the eye. We can, if we go that way.
Yes, sir.
You know, we talked about the piece of resistance to the cyclone fields and never, you know, we never really did anything spectacular there. And something like this should be the showcase of Vegas.
Agreed.
How could we bring Leo and Jacob to our next meeting? An update on what they're doing.
We can do it at the next meeting, or we could do it at the 2x6 meeting. Leo's not on the 2x6, Jaco is. So we could do it either way. I mean,
I'd like to know, but I'm not on the 2x6 meeting.
But you can go to the 2x4.
well, you'd be on the joint entity meeting. That's when the next really group discussion to where we could have that generalized conversation. But that's January 22nd.
Are you talking about like asking them to come next week maybe?
Yeah, make, you know, just tell
Just
a
kind
different
of give us
update.
an idea of what they're thinking.
I can see if either one of them is available. I'll see if either one of them is available. I have lunch with Leo tomorrow, so he's the easy one. Jaco's flying back in town. I don't know if it's tonight or tomorrow, but means I may have to take him to breakfast next week is what that means.
And you'll have
But,
time.
yes, ma'am.
As tight as he is.
anything
I
else?
don't know if there's any ideas about possible locations, you know, if it's really just one kind of general area, or if we have possibility of more than one locations to consider.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
Leo, their location is there next to the waterfall.
It is, and I think they're in the middle of a feasibility study right now that I don't know that they've got everything back on it yet. So I know that the county is very good at doing that. I can tell you that I can't say the school doesn't move fast, because when they do stuff, they move pretty fast. But second, we move probably at the next fastest rate of speed. County, they don't move as fast as everybody else.
They have a lot of studies.
Yeah, they do.
Well, we had met for dinner the other night. We kind of had an idea about Civic Center parking lot and do it like Dairy Queen. Build a new event center at the far end of that parking lot, then tear down the current Civic Center, and you'd have parking lot between.
Already.
For rodeo and for the new Civic Center.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be, we could do that jointly with the county.
Easy location.
Easy
Yeah,
location.
You
and-
got a hotel next door.
Yeah.
true.
No, that's a good idea. That's some of the stuff that probably would be really good to have those conversations with Leo and with Jacob.
Consider the last time.
No, but yeah, I mean, we could do that. Take all that into consideration.
Yeah, and I mean, our rodeos grounds are gonna, and arena's gonna look really nice once it's done right now anyway, so,
Yes. But that way they would be shared parking.
absolutely. Yes, ma'am?
I'd love to see it on the interstate like Ron says. There's,
Yeah.
Something big and
I don't
shiny.
think we have interstate
Yeah, I agree,
Don't
but-
think we have any interstate land.
Put a lot of lights on it, brighten it up. Just-
You know, the county could put it on the interstate.
Yeah.
You know, they may have some land.
Yeah.
To attract some of those unidentified objects that are flying around.
Absolutely.
Drones.
Do you have a comment?
I just have a comment to Mr. Leno, if you'd like to deal with John Pruitt. He has some prime interstate land that is right across from the new 4-H building,
Yeah.
which would be a possible location for you to consider, other than having to deal with.
How's his son? Deal with the son, you know, the mother passed away, I believe.
Fortunately, I haven't talked to John in over a year.
John Pruitt?
Yes.
Well, he's passed away too. The ones that used to live here and had all that land,
When?
a long time ago.
No. No.
Because I thought the son was taking over now,
Yeah, it is
since
his
the mother
son.
passed away.
His son, John, and his
Oh, you're talking
brother,
about John, the
Scott.
son.
Yeah, I am doing this,
I
yeah,
thought you were talking about the father.
No.
No.
Barbara's son.
But they do have a lot of land.
Then what I'll do is I'll take this, I'll check with the judge and the superintendent, and I will also put it on the 2x6 in the joint entity meeting for discussion. Anything else from me?
So we're going to go back up to item F5, discuss and consider resolution 24-11-02R, a resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into a purchase agreement with Vermeer, Texas, Louisiana for a hydro excavation trailer for the utilities department at the cost of $69,555.47. Kelvin Ridgely.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Kelvin Ridgely, Director of Public Works. You have a resolution in front of you to enter into an agreement for a little more than $69,000 for a hydrovac. This is a budgeted item, and I want to know if you have any questions at this time.
Your favorite words to say to us.
That's right. That's right. Like a broken record. Like a broken record.
He doesn't say that first before he says anything.
Trying to be formal here.
What's a Vermeer?
It's a hydrovac. It's a digging mechanism. It helps expose lines, so sewer lines and water lines.
It's a big vacuum cleaner with water.
Yes, sir.
That'll make the hole exposed.
Yes, sir.
We don't have one currently, right?
We do have one, but it's aged, so we're on the market for a newer one.
Does that one work at all?
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yes, ma'am. Like we have the ability to figure out how to make it work. Yes, ma'am.
It's a good tool to have, and if you use it quite a bit, which I know the city does, but we have one, we use it quite a bit. Requires maintenance, requires replacements quite a bit. It's a very, instead of digging blind, even if you can spot the lines.
That's right.
Just recently, all our contractors, they spotted the lines, but they still hit a gas line. The jet packet, which is how we call it.
That's right.
You can dig up, it'll suck up the dirt with water. It'll just dig with pressure of water and suck it up at the same time, and you can expose and see what's there. You can even make the big hole that you need.
It's a pretty neat tool.
Dirty to operate.
That's right.
Are you going to have to wait for this to be delivered?
Yes, ma'am.
Come with any warranty?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Any other questions? I'll make a motion to approve resolution 24-11-02R as presented.
I'll second.
I have a motion from Councilwoman Sills, a second from Councilman Saldana to approve Resolution 24-11-02R as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Let the record show the motion carries.
Thank you.
Do we have anything for executive session?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So, do we have items for our next city council meeting?
See if we can get a update on the Eastern Rodeo Route. Please.
And we have
We're
our,
talking about for next week. Or talking about our January.
Wait till January.
Would we be getting one at the joint entity meeting, do you think?
That'd be the, thank you.
Yeah, we normally try to get that done.
Just throwing that out there for thought.
No, no, that's perfect. Let's decide if they're,
Joint
say that,
entity.
decide if I, for our next meeting, have it at the joint entity meeting.
so for our next meeting, we have our Hidden Heroes agreement and see if Mr. Jaco and Mr. Hunt can be at the next meeting.
Yeah.
Anything else? Nothing else? Okay, then we will adjourn this meeting, and it is 7:21.
Cool beans.